Hello everyone, and today I'm going to teach you how to a simple method to do completing the square. So for you who don't know, so let me give you some introduction about completing a square. So for example, let's say you have an expression like this, x plus 2 bracket square. So what would you normally do? So you would normally expand the bracket and you get this x squared plus 4x plus 4. So this process we call as expanding the bracket. So basically, what completing the square do is convert the right hand side to the left hand side. So how do we do this? So let's start with the right hand side. So let's say x squared plus 4x plus 4, which is exactly this. So after we do the completing the square, we should get back these results. So how do we do that? So what I say now might not make sense to you, but just bear with me for a while. So there's a formula for this easy way. So what you do is you write equals bracket square minus bracket square. I repeat, you write bracket square minus bracket square. Then what you do next is, since this is x square, you pull the x downwards. After that, whatever is at the behind here, the constant without any unknowns, put all the way at the back. Then what you do next is you divide the coefficient of x by 2. Then you pull it all the way down. 4 divided by 2, you get plus 2, positive 2. Then what you do here, you copy all the way to the second bracket over here. Then what is need to do next is just expand the bracket. So this bracket you leave it. Then you just expand all the rest at the back. So you get minus 4 plus 4. Then you end up getting x plus 2 squared, which is the same as the starting point. So let's repeat the steps. So in conclusion, the first step if you see an equation is we put bracket square minus bracket square plus the constant you put at the back. Okay, then you divide the coefficient of x by 2. In this case, 4 divided by 2, you pull it down. Okay, then you copy the value in that you did here, the 2, all the way to the second bracket. After that, what you need to do is expand the bracket except for the second one, then you get the answer. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So next, let's do an example. So for example, let's say x squared plus 8x plus 4. So the first thing you do is you put equals to bracket square minus bracket square. Then put the x in and put the constant term all the way at the back. Then what you do next is you divide the 8 here, the coefficient of x, by 2. So then put it into the bracket, it's plus 4. Then what you did here, you just copy all the way to the second bracket, plus 4. Then the rest step is just expand the bracket except for the first one. So x plus 4 square minus 4 square is 16, and plus 4. Then you get x plus 4 square minus 12. This is the final answer if they want you to do only completing a square. But usually in the exam or in any question, they ask you to do completing the square to solve an equation. For example, like this: solve the quadratic equation below by completing the square. Okay, so from the previous example, from the previous page, we know that x squared plus 8x plus 4 is equals to x plus 4 bracket square minus 12, and this is equals to 0. Okay, so what is the next step that we need to do? We make x the subject. Okay, just like normal. So minus 12, you put it over to the other side, it becomes plus 12. There's a square here, you remove the square, then it becomes a square root. So plus minus square root of 12. Then the plus 4, you throw it to the right side, it becomes minus 4 plus minus square root of 12. So you guys might be wondering, what's the difference between completing a square and using the formula to solve a quadratic equation? So basically, completing the square gives you an exact answer, but in the sense of the formula, it gives you decimal point, for example 3.2225. But in the case of completing a square, you get minus 4 plus minus square root of 12, which is an exact answer, which means that there's no lot of decimal point and it's exact. There's a square root over there. Okay, let's do another example. So for example, let's say x squared minus 11x plus 7. Remember what's the first step? You might pause the video here to give it a try. So for example, the first one will be equals to bracket square minus bracket square. Then you pull the x down. Then the plus 7, you put it at the back, the constant. Then you divide the coefficient of x, the minus 11 must always include the minus sign, by 2. Then you get minus 11 over 2 over here. After that, what you do is you copy what you did here all the way to the second bracket. Okay, then the next step is just to expand the bracket except for the first one. So this one, so minus 11 over 2 square, you get positive 121 over 4. Then minus, multiply by positive, you get minus 121 over 4 plus 7. So you end up getting x minus 11 over 2 square minus 93 over 4.